Hi, so I want to talk about Song of Solomon by Toni Morrison. So I want to talk first of all by some of the aspects and trends I've been seeing in her writing. Also, some of the things I've been noticing throughout the book that I think are important enough to stand out. First of all, I want to say how much I think Morrison is different to other authors I've read, like novels of concerning African American issues. She doesn't confront race as much. She doesn't say African Americans are different to whites, at least not genetically. And we can see this from different examples I'm gonna read further on. Also, she's different in a way that she shows that African Americans are segregated within the community. That it's not just a segregation of whites to African Americans, but African Americans to African Americans. We can see how there's segregation between either North and South or wealthy and poor. And this is not like what most novels or even movies show us. They usually, or at least the movies and the novels I've read, show me that the African American community is so united and that they've all been through the same things. So they all are standing for the same things and that they all want the same things, but in reality it's not like this, because there's some people that are really middle class, like for example Making Dead, and people that are just not. And this is really interesting of this book and makes it different from other African American novels I've read. In chapter 5, we can see how the book starts getting into more of a political context. This is also what I previously mentioned of segregation amongst African Americans and whites and African Americans. First of all, we can see how there's two different characters that represents two different views in these problems that concern them. First, there's Guitar. He's very he's more radical. He's kind of like Malcolm X, like the speech that we've been shown in class. He talks more of black nationalism and that we should be separated from white, and that African Americans should be separated from white, and that African Americans alone are self-sufficient. But in the other side, we have Macon, that he's more calm. Also, he represents a northern middle class that did little compared to African Americans in the South. He, being from the North, he hasn't been through so much things. His family was the first. His family is extremely high class in comparison to the other African Americans. He was the first color-born child in No Mercy Hospital. We can see that in page 9 where he says, "The next day, a colored baby was born in St. Mercy for the first time." That was Making Dead. We can see that he's much more privileged. Therefore, he stands like for different things that Guitar does. And they have a conversation in chapter 5 in pages. The quotes that I want to point out are in pages 114 and 115. First, Guitar says, "For example, I live in the North now. So the first question comes to mind is, North of what? Why North of the South? So North exists because South does. But does that mean North is different from South? No way. South is just south of North." Here it also shows like what I think is more of Morrison's voice in the issue. It concerns more her or what she thinks. It's more like concerning that everyone is equal and that there should be civil rights for African American, and that everyone is equal. That doesn't matter the color of your skin or how much money each person has. Also, later on in this same conversation between Guitar and Making Dead, we can see when Making says, "Who you talking about? Black people or white people?" And Guitar responds, "Black? White? Do you tell me you're one of those racial Negroes? Who said anything about black people? This is just a geography lesson." In this text, we can see how Guitar doesn't understand why Macon, especially being African American, is talking about different black people or white people when it's a problem that concerns them all, or it's a problem of geography. It's not it's different and it would affect differently different people, or it doesn't matter, whatever the fact that factors like wealth or geography or color of your skin. Also, another thing that I've seen in a lot in the book is that the women in this book are really, the female roles depend a lot in the man that they love, or for example, we can see the relationship with Hagar, between Hagar and Macon. He really doesn't like, she's so obsessed with him, always love him, and he doesn't give love back. But instead we have Pilari, and she's more like, she has more strength, she radiates more strength, and she's not defined by what a man gives to her, which I think is on purpose the way that Ruth does it. And the fact that she's named Pilari also says a lot, because as we've seen in the book, Morrison has chooses names that are very specific, like Ruth, that's part of the Bible, and Pilate was a Roman politician who, according to the New Testament, presided over Jesus. So we can see that she's very specific when she chooses the different names for the different people, which I think is really important, or that it relates a lot to what Morrison writes and why she writes it, and she tries to represent this through names. Well, that's all for now. Thank you.